And then we need to do something primarily for the rear delt right there, the posterior delt. So for that we do rear delt rowing. Now the key to do a rear delt row is to flare your elbows out. Have them out at about a 90-degree angle from your body. All right, this way you're going to be pulling entirely in the direction of the rear delts, and it shouldn't recruit much other back muscles. So for the rear delts, you'd want to flare those elbows out as much as possible. Okay, that's how you do a rear delt row, and you want to prevent them from drifting downward. Just like how in horizontal rowing you want to prevent your elbows from doing that as well. Okay, we're doing an entirely separate row for our rear delts. So we want to isolate those rear delts by getting those elbows out like this. Most people are doing this in a suboptimal way because they are doing it by sitting on a bench, bending over, and trying to row dumbbells like that, somewhat like halfway between a row and a fly. And it's got a very poor resistance curve to it. And it's also very hard to stay in control, and their arms will drift around a lot. Oftentimes the reps are poor and non-standardized, so don't do it that way. I've found that there's a couple different variations that are optimal, and you'll probably find one of them works best for you. The first that I'm going to show you, which is for going heavier, is an inverted body weight row. You can do this using suspension straps, or if you do not have them, you can use a Smith machine by putting the bar down at about waist level. Okay, but either way, you have something to hang from, you can do a inverted body weight row. And you want to do that by putting your feet flat on the ground and bending your knees like this, getting yourself perpendicular to the straps, so that your arms come up at a 90-degree angle, and then pull directly out to the side. And use your legs to try to keep your torso perpendicular to your arms. Okay, you do not want to be doing it like this. Okay? You don't want to be doing it at weird angles. Alright? Use your legs to keep your torso in alignment perpendicular to your arms. And pull straight out to the side, pausing at the top. Okay? Now if you want to, you can use a different grip. I like doing suspension bands like this and pulling out like that, doing a diverging pull. That's why I like using suspension bands. If I were to do this on a Smith machine, however, I would be having it a wide grip. Okay? If you have to use a fixed grip with this, choose a wide grip because you want to end up wide. It's better to start close if you can, but if you can't, it needs to be wide so that you can end up wide. Alright, because that's how you're going to get a contraction of the rear delt. So, when I do it with wide grip, this is what it looks like. So that's the great thing about suspension bands and the chin-up bar, is that not only can I lengthen and shorten them as you can anywhere, but I can also move them around the bar. So if you want to do a heavy rear delt row, this is the exercise to do it. If you want to go heavier, put some plates on your chest